Hi, guys. Today I wanted to talk to you about some things that I feel as if are changed in my perspective about work and Kenya and things that we can do and how Westerners see Kenya, etc. But first, I wanted to say I have recorded a lot of emotional videos in the last day or two because it's been a very stressful few days. Um, can't I can't share them with you though. I think that they're too deep, too raw, and so I decided that I may or may not share them with my patrons, people who really, really support me. So um, that's something that might happen in the future where I share some of the really deep stuff with people who love me enough to donate. And so if you want to be one of those people, you can. You can go to my account, patreon.com/Kate_Ellen. Moving right along. So last night, I was talking to someone about Kenya, and I was telling her how, some of my ideas and like how I still have a heart for Kenya. And so she just jumped on that conversation and was like, "Oh, you can get corporations to go there and build orphanages, and they can do ABCD." And I just realized, whoa, my perspective, my ideas have changed so much over the last 14 and a half years. When I first moved to Kenya, my idea was, yeah, I'm going to come in, I'm going to save the world, and I'm going to help people. And I started to realize over 14 years I began to fall in love with the people and see the people as people like you and me. So living in the culture, I learned and realized certain things, and one of those things I thought I would share with you is that um, poverty is relative. Let's take an image I have of a young boy. He's got a little torn white t-shirt on, some shorts, but his little belly probably hangs out. He probably needs a good dewormer. And he's been running around barefooted, playing in the mud. He doesn't really have toys. His house is, it's adequate at best. And we come in and we see this. We go, oh my God, this boy, his house, he's exposed to the elements. He doesn't have shoes. How can he survive? He's in poverty. And we need to come in and fix that. We need to get this boy some shoes. We need to get him some better clothes, etc., etc., etc. But the reality is that is us feeling like our standard is fit for him. But what you might not realize as a Westerner is this child has never, ever probably suffered much from the elements because it does not snow in Kenya. It doesn't get icy in Kenya. You can pretty much live outside year round. When I say outside, I mean it gets cold at night and you need a good blanket. But our house is very much open to the elements all the time. And it's okay. So this child might not need shoes ever a day in his life. I mean, I know, for example, my kids coming to the United States, I had to buy them shoes because they didn't even have any. I was like, oh my goodness, when was the last time you wore shoes? I don't know, Mom. It's not a requirement. And so wearing shoes, I mean, it's a whole different thing. Funny enough, let me tell you a quick story. We had to go out, and I said, "Find Starry shoes," and we couldn't find her shoes. So one of my daughters chimed in and said, "Well, she doesn't need them," and I was like, "Actually, in the U.S., you have to have shoes." Well, she got cross. She was like, "Why don't we just go back to Kenya where we don't have to be told when we wear shoes?" It's all relative. It's all a matter of perspective. To my kids, wearing shoes is poverty. They don't want to wear them. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, it's all relative. So, some of the things I want to do with Kenya is maybe cultural exchanges. Not we come in and fix things for you, but instead where we might bring something from the heart, music, arts, photos, education and awareness on maybe keeping the environment clean and how we can make the world a better place, addressing global issues, having young people or even adults come and experience life on an off-grid farm where they are like, able to learn and connect with nature, get back to the basics and feel what that is like, and have an appreciation for what all the earth has to offer, and also maybe even find who we are, have some time to just reflect and just be. And then maybe in that process of a week, take the time to go on a game drive, see wildlife, and even and the artsy side of things, I would like to produce productions and plays. Maybe during that time, have creative time in the evenings or sometimes or during the day, and then have rehearsal times where we take our gifts as people, collaborate, whether it's writing poetry or doing photo collages or painting paintings or doing a play or putting a performance on. And we take it and we address things that are important to us. And I mean, personally, I'm leaning towards things like equality and environmental stuff and conservation or whatever global issue things that we would like to address, or even just entertainment. And we bring those into the local schools at the end of our trip. We can hit a few schools and share what we have collaborated and come up with during the week. And then our trip is done. And in doing so, we exchange with the culture there. We learn about a culture because I would like to share that culture with you, and then they also can give back in the interactions and dialogues that we have. We can even have a mix where we have locals come and be a part of the camp as well. I don't know. I'm just brainstorming here. So these are things that I would like to do, but I don't know how to articulate them and how to hone them into a project that would be able to be put into a nonprofit or in a form where I can make sure that I raise the money to do this because I would need to build a stage. I would like to use the horses still. So these are things I would like to do. So anyways, that's the idea I have for Kenya. It's not us coming in and building orphanages, although I really appreciate the fact that housing for children is important. An orphanage to me is not my ideal. And the reason for that is we don't even have orphanages in the United States. Orphanages don't work anymore. We know this, and so we've adopted foster care, which is kind of what Johnny and I have been doing for the last 14 years. But Johnny and I are no longer necessarily a team. Now, if he decides to do something on the Shire and in Kenya, that would be great. So maybe we can find ways where he and I share the property. Um, but I'm not able to work with him because I feel as if when I work with him, it just doesn't work for me. And I won't get into that here. So there you go. Those are ideas I have, and I just thought I would share them with you. Feel free to give me some feedback. I love getting your comments. I love getting your questions. And I don't know. Maybe it's all just, a bit of, maybe it's not something that should be done. I don't know, but I believe it's important. I feel it's important. Um, so thank you for listening. Um, oh, and just logistics. I would only be able to do this. I would have to be in the country in Kenya half the year and out of Kenya half the year. So where I'm recruiting people to go back with me to Kenya. So, anyways, if that's something that interests you, let's talk. I feel like I need somebody to help me sort of organize my thoughts and put them together in something so that I can sort out the legalities. I feel a little bit alone in this, and I need to delegate some of this, and I need help with this. So, if it's something that sparks interest in your heart, let me know. And it would include some equine assisted growth and learning. So, Katie Durio, if you're out there and you're listening, I could use your help with that. So, all right, hit like, hit subscribe.